Welcome back to another Love Island recap, everyone. We're going to talk about USA Season 7, Episode 24. Just to let you know, Episode 23 was an After Sun episode, so we're going to skip that. And last night's episode was a good one. The internet is fighting over HUDA and CHELLEY. Who is in the right? Who is in the wrong? It was the heart rate challenge, and I can't believe we're already here. We're more than halfway through the season, and I'm going to be so sad when the season ends because there has been nothing better than ending my day with a Love Island episode and a Vina gummy. I've partnered up with them for this recap to tell you about their Extra Bliss and Lights Out gummies. Vina offers the highest quality CBD and THC products to elevate mood, ease everyday stress, and support restful sleep. I've been loving their Extra Bliss gummies. It's their strongest gummy and my go-to for taking the edge off from a long, stressful day. It makes me feel relaxed, calm, and I feel like I'm floating on a cloud. I pop one in, turn down the lights, and watch Love Island, and it's my favorite part of the entire day. If you need help with sleep, Lights Out is great because it's infused with melatonin and L-theanine, designed to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. If you'd like to give Vina a try, they're offering 30% off through my link in my description, or use code THOUGHTS30 at checkout to get 30% off your purchase. Again, you can click the link in my description or use code THOUGHTS30 at checkout. You must be 21 or older, and thank you, Vina, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get into the recap. Alandria wants to move on. She officially wants to close this chapter with Taylor. And I'm like, okay, Alandria, you are winning me back. You better stay focused. And we're going to talk about that heart rate challenge because I was a little disappointed that she gave Taylor so much attention. Like, she performed especially for Taylor. And I was like, why? Why, Alandria? And she keeps saying, like, I just wanted to fuck with his head a little bit. But like, no, that stage is over. Okay, we're going to get into it. So she tells the girls that she wants to close the chapter with Taylor. She wants to move on, but she doesn't even know who to explore with because she spent her entire time in the villa focused on Taylor.
I honestly want to close that chapter. Yeah. Starting over makes me sick to my stomach because it's like I feel like time is ticking already, but I deserve to be here and I deserve to find love.
Oh, and she also told Sierra that she and Nick kissed out of the challenge, but there were no sparks and she regretted it right after and she felt so bad. And Sierra was like, oh my God, that's totally fine, girl. I'm glad it was you versus anybody else.
Safe to say there was no fucking spark, and it is afterwards I felt so bad. I'm like, ew, why did you do that? You never knew. You never know if something's there if you don't do it.
You say that now because nothing came out of it, but imagine if they were like, we did feel a spark and we want to explore things. Sierra would be livid. Shelly's chatting with Ace and she tells him that he actually has a lot of similarities with Chris, and he did not like that. He was like, nope, there's nobody like me. There's only one Ace. Yeah, okay. Also, I'm still annoyed that we didn't get a side-by-side. I was hoping that Shelly would stand in the middle of the recoupling and then we would see Ace on the left and Chris on the right, and we didn't get that. But you know what? We do get a side-by-side later, and it made up for that.
I mean, still exploring?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he prepared to go to war? That's a serious question. You laughing, I'm dead ass serious.
Amaya and Zach with a K have a chat, and I think they genuinely have good chemistry. He seems genuinely interested in her, and he seems to accept her kookiness, and they both seem kooky together, and it's in a very good, sweet, endearing way. Not like when Amaya and Austin were together. That seemed definitely forced, but when she and Zach K are together, they're just like goofy, silly, and fun together. I am so rooting for them. They are my winners, okay? I will be voting for them. Everybody who watches this video, who's a subscriber, please vote for Amaya and Zach K as your couple when voting time comes around, okay? Please.
Like, anything you need, anything you want, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah? Just...
Oh, and I've seen a lot of discourse about Zach K. Is he cute or not? I'm gonna say that when I first saw him, I was like, I feel like he could be cute, but something about him is just throwing me off. Like, I don't know. And I realized it's his hair. It's his haircut. It's his short bangs. Why does he have that? And then I heard it's a UK thing. Like, it's a very popular haircut in the UK. And so I Googled it and I'm like, ugh, what the hell is this? What the helly? Why? Why is this popular? The short bangs. I don't like it. So I went on TikTok and Instagram and I found pictures of him where you don't see his bangs and he looks so good. Anyway, back to the episode. Nick and Sierra chat about Casa more. Sierra says she missed him the entire time, and even though she gave Elon a Elon or Elan a fair shot. All she could think of was him. And then they talk about life after the show, about how they want to go on dates and they want to sit on the couch and watch movies while eating ice cream, go thrift shopping, skydiving. And Sierra mentions how there was one cute thing that Elan did for her, and it was during breakfast time, how he always cut up a C in her pancakes. And he's like, huh? And she's like, C for my name, Sierra, because you spelled it wrong. Honestly, I don't know how he didn't know how to spell her name, because it's on her water bottle. It's on her bed, because they sleep together on the same bed, right? It says Sierra and Nick. And doesn't she have a necklace with a C on it? And I also find it really weird that he does not want to close things off. He does not want to make it official. He was like, yeah, Casa Morin almost getting eliminated made me realize that you're the one I want to, like you're my like person here.
You know, you're the girl that, and Taylor's the guy for her, so.
I know Sierra is just dying for Nick to close things off, to ask her to be his girlfriend, because at Love Island, that's like a whole thing where people, when they want to close off with one person, they ask them to be their girlfriend or boyfriend. It's like a whole thing. It's really cute. But no one's doing that this season. It's actually crazy. Like we're more than halfway through and nobody is official. So Sierra's looking at him, just waiting for him to be like, oh, let's make things official. Let's stop exploring other connections. But he doesn't say that. Then we see TJ and Iris catch up and he's like, yeah, no girls picked me. And then I realized I wanted to be with you.
I'm really, really glad that you picked me. You're my Barbie and my Ken.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we see Andreina and Brian talking, and they're talking about how they like each other, but she says she wants to explore other connections. She wants to talk to every guy and get to know them. She's not ready to be closed off with Brian yet because they just got there. And he's like, oh yeah, of course, me too. Then we find out who she's really into. Pepe. You know what? I can see it. I can absolutely see it. I think Pepe's gonna drop Grayson and go to Andreina.
I have like a little crush on Pepe. He is a charmer.
Huda's really excited to be in a new couple with Chris, but she tells him that it's totally okay to reconnect with CHELLEY if he wants to, because she's a cool girl. You know, she's chill. She's not crazy like everybody's making her out to be. Then Huda talks about her daughter and her baby daddy, and then Chris is like, oh, by the way, I just want to let you know that I'm not bothered at all that you're a mother. And she's like, oh my God, really? Thank you so much. Like, yeah, you're a real man. You're a real man. That means a lot that you said that. And she even says that this is the happiest night that she's ever had in the villa.
It doesn't bother me that you're a mom.
It doesn't?
No, not at all.
Aww.
So I just want to tell you,
I think that he's an amazing guy. This is probably the happiest night that I've had.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm really, really happy.
Wow.
Then we see Austin and Jaden talking, and honestly, they sound exactly the same to me. Like, I couldn't tell who was who when I was taking my notes when I heard them talk, because one of them was like, so what was the first thing you noticed about me? I really like your eyes, and like I really like how you carried yourself. Oh, really? Oh my God, that is so nice. Like, I thought the same thing about you. Oh, really? Yeah. So that's what I heard. Huda's with the girls in the beauty room, and then she tells them that Chris told her that he didn't mind that she was a mom, and she's like, he's a man. He's a real man. And I didn't like that.
Today when we were sitting over there, he made me feel better. He just looked at me and was like, I want to let you know, like, I don't care that you're a mom. He's a man, bitch. He is. He's a man.
I felt like she was throwing shade at Jeremiah, and I did not appreciate that because it's not the same thing. Chris came into the villa knowing that she was a mom because he was privy to that information. He was given that information before he chose to couple up with her, before he got to know her, before he talked to her. But Jeremiah did not because she hid that information from him. They were together 24/7 for a week. They were talking every day, all the time. And she did not once mention that she was a mother, that she had a child until days later. And then when she dropped that information on him, of course he's going to be shocked and he's going to be thrown off and he's not going to know exactly what to say. It's a brand new day. Amaya's back in her good spirits, and that makes me so happy to see. The guys are making breakfast for the girls per usual, and I couldn't help but to wonder if it was killing TJ to be in that kitchen doing a woman's job. CHELLEY watches Chris work out and she doesn't know how she's going to move forward with Ace and Chris both in the house. Sierra talks about how Elan is really making an effort and she wants to close things off with Nick, but he's just not ready. So she's not ready to just end things with Elan. You know, he's being sweet. He's giving her attention. Like, why end things there when Nick doesn't want to make things official with her?
I feel so strongly for Nick. Like, we're very much treating each other like it's just him and I, and like we're closed off. But like, Nick hasn't told me he wants to be closed off.
Taylor says he's still open to exploring things with Elandria. No, sir. No, sir. Nobody wants you to do that. No. Sierra tells Iris that she and Nick made love last night. I saw someone say that Sierra tends to weaponize sex with Nick when she feels threatened by another woman. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I haven't really noticed. She also talks about how Nick and Elandria kissed in soul ties, and Iris is shook. She's like, what? That's freaking weird. And you're okay with that? And Sierra goes, yeah, am I crazy? And Iris goes, I mean, I guess you're the cool girl, but like, I would never be okay with that. I mean, how are you going to be inside of me and then go make out with my friend? And she also flips it on Elandria and said, if I were your friend, I would have never done that to you. And Sierra's like, oh, really? Oh my God, now you have me thinking.
Yeah.
What? What do you mean?
You didn't know that?
No.
Do you think it's crazy?
So what, they really looked at each other and they were like, guess we should explore now. No, that's so stupid. I would never kiss my friend's man who has had sex with her.
I can't help but to think that Sierra just doesn't feel threatened by Elandria, and that's why she's not bothered. If it were anybody else where she felt like it could be a possibility, then she would absolutely be bothered by it. CHELLEY and Chris are having a chat. Ooh, he says that he made a remix in his head of a Stevie Wonder song. I think it was called Mon Chéri, and he sang it as Mon Chéri. Ooh, la la. Au revoir, bonjour, je m'appelle, comment ça va? Merci beaucoup. Ace pulls CHELLEY and tells her that he's focused on her now more than ever. Why is it always that when there's a threat, people finally step up? Taylor did that too with Elandria when Jalen was here, but then as soon as Jalen left, Taylor dropped her. He was like, Elandria who? CHELLEY tells him that there is a connection with Chris that she's not ready to give up, especially since she and Ace are not official. But she also worries how she'd fit into his life, like after the villa, because he's so busy. And he's like, well, you know, I would make you a priority.
I don't know, I'm also thinking about like what outside of here would look like too. How would I be integrated into your life knowing that you have such a busy life?
It would be a priority.
Chris then pulls Ace and he's like, can I chat with you, bro? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he pulls him up and we finally get the side by side. That was everything. So they sit down and Chris is like, look, I don't want any awkward tension. This isn't going to be a dick swinging contest. And Ace is like, yeah, I'm cool with you, bro. Like, I really like you. I actually fuck with you. And they shake hands and they're good. Bling, they get a text. Tonight is the heart rate challenge. And if you're new to Love Island, the heart rate challenge is so much fun. Each islander basically puts on a spicy performance for everyone. And it's raunchy, it's spicy, it's shocking, it's funny. It's supposed to be a good time. My sister and I always crack up. We scream, we laugh, we enjoy this so much. But this season was a little different. Okay, it was way raunchier. And it was like one big orgy. And I also didn't like how it was performed by couples and not individuals. So usually it's supposed to be each girl performing for just all the guys and then vice versa. But this time it was couples performing for all the couples. And I just felt like that was too much. It kind of ruined the vibe and there was just too much going on and I didn't like it as much. And also everybody was so extra, like so over the top. But anyway, the objective of this challenge is everybody in the audience is supposed to wear a heart rate monitor. And at the end, the islander, or in this case, the couple that raised the heart rates the most wins. As much as I want to show you guys the heart rate challenge, like the actual performances, I cannot. Okay, it was a full-on orgy. It was so raunchy and crazy. And last night I posted a screenshot of it and YouTube took it down and they gave me a warning. And they said if I violate their SMEX and nudity guidelines again, they're going to give me a community strike. Okay, they're going to strike my channel. So all I'm going to talk about is HUDA versus CHELLEY because that's the big debate. That's what everybody's talking about. So when it's CHELLEY and Ace's turn, CHELLEY makes out with all the guys, but she goes for Chris twice, okay? She makes out with Chris twice, and then Ace makes out with all the girls. And then CHELLEY and Ace as a couple, they bring on Amaya to the front, and then they do a three-way. Then it was Huda and Chris's turn right after, and I already knew Huda was probably gonna do the absolute most. I feel like she thrives during these challenges, just from seeing her in other challenges. And listen, hey, I'm not blaming her. If I had her body and if I could bounce my booty up and down like that, I would do that too. So the question here is, did Huda do too much? And you have to remember, it's a heart rate challenge where the objective is to do whatever you can to raise the Islanders' heart rates the most. And Huda did all that she could. And after they're done performing for the group, they pull CHELLEY and Ace to the front. They lay them down. Chris makes out with CHELLEY a bunch, while Huda makes out with Ace a bunch. And when Chris is done, CHELLEY walks back. But Huda and Ace are not done. They're going on. And Ace is really grabbing her peach, okay? He is grabbing her peach. She is grinding her cookie onto his sausage, okay? Grind, grind, grind. And I have a feeling that the editors cut out a lot. I want to see that full footage. I want to see Ace and Huda's full makeout. I want to know what happened. Because towards the end, when CHELLEY and Chris were done and CHELLEY walked back and Huda kept going on with Ace, she turned around and she was about to have her cookie in Ace's face. Like she was about to sit on his face. And then it cut. And then the next scene we got was of them walking up. And everybody looked gooped and gagged and shook. And I want to know what was cut out. I feel like she literally rubbed her coochie on his face and they couldn't show it on TV. So after Ace and Huda are done, they walk back. Everybody shook. Their mouths are open. Their jaws are on the floor. And then Ace and Huda are like, don't worry, it's just a challenge. It's just a challenge. Now CHELLEY is visibly very upset. She can't even smile. Huda taps her on the arm and she's like, are you mad at me? It was just a challenge. And CHELLEY goes, we're going to talk later. I feel like you just have to see the performances to really know, because like I can talk about it, but I could be biased. Maybe I'm exaggerating someone's performance more than I'm exaggerating the other. So because I can't play it on YouTube, I'm actually going to post the clip on Patreon. It's going to be free. You don't have to pay. I will post the link in the description so you can see the full performances, and then you can come back and tell me whose side you're on. I know I have the unpopular opinion because I've seen social media, I've seen the internet, and it feels like everybody's on Huda's side, but I think she did too much. I know it was a challenge, okay? I know technically Huda played the game. I don't think she did anything wrong. I don't think she did anything out of malice, okay? Let me make that clear. I don't think she was intentionally, purposely trying to be sneaky or like trying to steal CHELLEY's man or anything like that. I do not think Huda did that, okay? Let me make myself clear. I still think she did too much. And I know it was a challenge and nobody discussed any boundaries or rules. So technically, like I said, Huda played the game. She did nothing wrong, but I still think she did too much. Because if I were in Huda's shoes, okay, if I had a friend who was coupled up with someone who had a crush on him from the very beginning of this show and experience, I would not have danced on him like that. I just wouldn't have. It comes down to Huda just not being a girl's girl. And I'm not saying she's a bad person because she's not a girl's girl. She just isn't. And that's why she doesn't have the wherewithal, the awareness to know that that's going a little too far. Do you know what I mean? The same thing happened with Hannah and Pepe when Huda pulled Pepe without talking to Hannah. Now, did Huda do something wrong by not telling Hannah ahead of time? No, she didn't have to. But it would have been nice. A girl's girl would have gave Hannah a heads up. And that's the thing. Huda's not a girl's girl, so it didn't cross her mind. So even though I don't think Huda did anything wrong, she wasn't wrong for what she did. She was just playing the game. I still think it was too much. I wouldn't have done it. And I think CHELLEY has the right to be upset over it. That's how she feels, and she's upset. And like any friendship, people are going to argue, they're going to fight, and they're going to have to talk about it and work through it. And that's what I think is going to happen tonight. I think CHELLEY's going to talk to Huda about it. Huda's probably going to apologize and they're going to squash it. Just like how Huda and Alandria squashed it right away. I don't think people need to hate on CHELLEY. I don't think people need to hate on Huda. I think people just need to allow these friendships to like go through their things. I also think CHELLEY needs to share some of that same energy with Ace, because Ace was very into it. He was a very willing participant. He grabbed Huda's ass like no other, okay? Now, in terms of Sierra agreeing with everything that Chelleigh said, I think it comes down to Chelleigh and Sierra being annoyed with Huda for a very long time. You know, this was basically the straw that broke the camel's back. They put up with a lot of her crap when she was being Hurricane Huda with Jeremiah, and I think they just forgave her. But I think everything was piling on top of each other, and now the girls saw Huda perform and they all agreed that it was too much, and they're allowed to feel that. Now imagine if Huda's day one guy was there and she was still coupled up with him, okay? Let's just say if Jeremiah was still there and they were still coupled up, and if anyone was like dancing on him like that, saying it was just a challenge, I do not believe for a second Huda would have been cool with it. And some people are like, oh my God, stop talking about Jeremiah. Stop bringing up Jeremiah. He's gone. That doesn't change the fact that Huda was still who she was. She set those expectations. That's just my opinion, okay? Don't hate me. Like I said, I don't think Huda did what she did with bad intentions, but she definitely lacks self-awareness and some empathy. She doesn't understand what girl code is, and that's because she's not a girl's girl. And that's probably why she doesn't have any girlfriends. And once again, I think they're going to squash it tonight and everything's going to be fine. And in the end, if Chelleigh can't forgive Huda, or if she can't get over it, then that's her prerogative and that's her right. And some people are just meant to not be friends, and that's okay too. So let's just see what happens tonight, okay? Let's all be nice to each other and let's just enjoy the show. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to check out Vina for 30% off, okay? Click the link in my description, or you can use code THOUGHTS30 at checkout to get 30% off your purchase. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me, and I will talk to you in the next one.
I have a secret to tell you. I'm a mommy.
Mamacita.
I'm a mommy.
Mamacita.
No, I'm a mommy.
Mamacita.
I'm a mommy.